Hello, beautiful Bible fans. On request, I will be doing a quick review, about 5 minutes, of this R.L. Allan ESV Bible in New Zealand goatskin. It was just reissued within the last month or two, and Allan used a new bindery for this company called Ludlow. So the work is a little bit different from the standard ESV1 of previous years. Holy Bible has been added to the cover. This one is in burgundy. There was a blue, black, and a medium brown edition. Interestingly, ESV, or English Standard Version, nowhere to be found on the cover. The grain is not prominent, but it's interesting. It is really, really soft. I'm not going to sit here and touch it a whole lot because I know that doesn't really do a whole lot in terms of conveying to the viewer what's going on. But what I really liked about this, the very first time I opened it, was just this. May not seem like much, but it is such a limp goatskin that the cover literally just flops open and stays there. I have another Allan Bible, a couple of them, that even after years of use don't do this. This cover is just totally soft and flexible and floppy. It's an amazing material. I've had this for a week and I prefer it better than anything in Highland goatskin. So cover material, really nice. Navy interior. Couple of ribbons. This is the standard navy blue ribbon that Allan uses. It looks nice with the red. Moving on, text block. It's the Crossway New Classic Reference. So there's no surprises here. Printed in. Here's all the front matter. Printed in China, but unlike most China print blocks, at least the reputation, this print is really quite nice. The paper is a 36 GSM paper, so it's a fairly thick paper. It is not line matched, but ghosting seems to be limited. It's showing up in this video far more than it does to my eye when I'm just reading it. The art gilt is an exceptionally red. It's very rich. I know I've got a NRSV from Allan that is like this also, where it's intensely red. I suppose, while it's not normally my thing, it goes well with the red cover. I can't say much about the ESV. It's not a translation I generally use. But the book itself, while the paper is great, the margins are really thin, and my finger's about a centimeter wide here, and clearly these margins are very, very thin margins. The New Classic Reader edition that Allan makes using a blown up or scaled up version of this text block has much wider margins. I would have preferred that in this case, but it is what it is. Text columns are fairly thin, but serviceable. It does get chopped up a lot in the poetry sections. Here's Proverbs. Scroll back a bit to the Psalms, where we end up with a lot of 1 or 2 word lines. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is a red letter edition of the Bible, so the words of Christ are in red. That's not normally something I personally go looking for, but to be honest, it's not bad. The lines all match up with each other, which is a big deal. Quite often red is printed in the separately from the black, and it ends up being out of whack, or just doesn't register right with the lines. It's also a fairly deep red, so it's not offensive to the eyes in any way. The thick paper does make it almost difficult to flip through this book. I'm accustomed to a Bible being of a certain thickness because of the thin paper, and with this one I find myself missing the pages I intend to turn to because this paper is just so thick. Really shouldn't complain about that. Alright, so get to the end of the Bible. There is a concordance. It is several pages long. They don't necessarily number it differently at the top so that it still, numbers right along with the pages. The type is very small, and again, the margins are non-existent. There is no margin here. You're not going to be writing notes in these Bibles. After the concordance are a section of illustrations and maps. I do like this. It's printed on a different material, kind of a plasticky paper, very thick, and lots of color diagrams, mostly of Old Testament sites and objects. We do get to Solomon's Temple, Jerusalem and Hezekiah, Jerusalem during the time of Jesus, more temples diagrams, synagogues, and then the usual assortment of maps. The maps are not as impressive as the earlier matter with the diagrams of objects like the tents of meeting or the ark, or things like that. Ending the Bible are the usual pages of lined notepaper. It is about as thick as the rest of the paper in the Bible, just thin lines, nothing fancy here. And then we get, of course, to the end. So there we go, quick review. I do like that cover. Look at that. I love how thin it is, and it is very soft. I know I said I wouldn't sit here pawing at it, trying to impress people with the way it feels. You can't feel that through the video, but it is a very soft material, and man, it is so limp, and that's a really nice feature. So there we go. I've already gone over my 5-minute mark, but this is a quick review of the Allan ESV. Thanks.